Welcome to all of you in this lecture of class 12 new chapter current electricity. Okay, so we will discuss about the new chapter here, current electricity. So at first we all know about what is electric current. Okay, first one is electric current. From class 10th you all know electric current is but actually suppose there is a conductor, okay, and we apply some potential difference, okay, V volt through the conductor through a key, suppose this is any key, okay, then we know that the current flows in the conductor from positive terminal to negative terminal, and free electrons, okay, means electrons move from negative terminal to positive terminal, and inside the conductor the free electrons moves from in a fixed direction means from negative terminal of the battery towards the positive terminal of the battery, and external electric field E is from positive to negative, okay. And we know, suppose the potential difference is here V, and length of the conductor is suppose L, then the electric field we generally E equal to V upon L. E means E equal to V upon L, okay, by relation between electric field and potential difference. So what is current? The total amount of charge passing through any cross-sectional area of the conductor per unit time, or we can say the rate of flow of charge through any cross-sectional area of the conductor is called electric current, okay. So rate of flow of electric charge through any cross-sectional area of the conductor is called electric current, okay. Electric current, we all know it, okay. So rate of flow of charge through any cross-sectional area of the conductor per unit time, or we can say rate means per unit time, okay, called electric current. And electric current I equal to, suppose Q charge flows through the conductor in time t, then electric current I equal to Q upon T, okay. And unit of electric current generally coulomb per second by this formula, and but SI unit we all know, SI unit of current is ampere. SI unit of current is ampere, and you know ampere is a fundamental unit, okay, in SI system. 7 fundamental units are there. Out of these 7, ampere is also the electric current is also a fundamental physical quantity, and ampere is the fundamental unit, okay. So this is electric current, we all know, and we can say this as an average current, okay. And there is a concept of average current we can define as, suppose delta Q means delta Q of amount charge flows in time delta T, then we can say this current as an average current. And for any small interval of time, suppose that will be the instantaneous current for any small interval of time, means if delta T tends to 0, suppose if we can say instantaneous current, we can write instantaneous current means at a particular instant of time, and this current is I equal to we can write limit delta T tends to 0 delta Q upon delta T, then I will be the instantaneous current. We can also write this instantaneous current as I equal to dQ upon dt for a small instant of time, okay. So you can note down this one and the previous one also. Now we all know the electric current is a scalar quantity. Electric current is a scalar quantity, okay. Why? But the electric current has direction, magnitude as well as direction also, but this is a scalar quantity because you know the electric current does not obey the laws of vector addition. Electric current cannot be added by the laws of vector addition, okay. Suppose there is a current in this way, suppose 2 ampere current, and 3 ampere current. Okay, then the total current of these two will be directly I equal to means suppose this is I1 equal to 2 ampere and this is I2 equal to 3 ampere, then the total current I will be equal to 5 ampere. Means actually if we add the current by vector laws, you know in vector addition the angle between two vectors is very important. Okay, and means the resultant, we can find the resultant with the help of the introducing the angle also. But here suppose current 2 ampere is also, I1 is suppose 2 ampere in this way and I2 is at an angle of 90, I2 equal to 3 ampere, these two current I am showing again, then the resultant will be then I equal to, suppose current is flowing in the direction, then 3 ampere. Okay, but it means that the addition of current is a scalar addition, no vector addition. Okay, so that's why electric current, you can make the diagram also. So that's why electric current is a scalar quantity, but in real the electric current is a tensor quantity. It is in tensor quantity. If there is in optional in any MCQ multiple choice question, for suppose for electric current tensor is the option, then you have to take tensor first, otherwise scalar. Okay, so this is about electric current. The next main thing which we have to study here, that is the drift velocity, mean free path or mechanism of flow of current through the conductors. Okay, next topic is mechanism of flow of current, mechanism of flow of current through the conductors, mechanism of flow of current through the conductors, and this is also known as free electron theory, free electron theory of electric conduction, or we can say electrical conduction, free electron theory of electrical conduction. Okay, now please try to understand this theory. Actually, what is the free electron theory of electrical conduction? Generally what happens, generally suppose this is a conductor. Okay, any conductor, okay, now suppose this is a conductor and suppose this is a copper wire or aluminum wire. So there are suppose in a copper wire, suppose there are so many atoms, so many copper atoms, but suppose in a single copper atom, suppose one is the free electron. Means how free electron? Actually due to the room temperature, if the room temperature is increasing, suppose external temperature, by external temperature these electrons gets energy. Okay, these electrons get energy, means in the form of thermal energy by temperature, because temperature is increasing outside, due to which what happens, the free electron, means the outermost electron in any atom, gets energy and moves freely inside the conductor, freely inside the conductor, and there are almost 10 to the power 29, there are almost 10 to the power 29 free electrons per meter cube. Means there are so many electrons in a conductor, and these electrons, about 10 to the power free electrons per meter cube, and these electrons, so there are so many free electrons, but in case of insulators there are no free electrons. Okay, but in case of silver the free electrons are more in comparison to copper. Okay, that's why if free electrons are more, the conductor will be conductor can conduct electricity easily, means it will be the best conductor of electricity. Okay, we can say. Okay, so here 10 to the power 29 free electrons per meter cube, and due to this thermal energy, these electrons moves randomly inside the conductor in all possible directions with a very high speed, and we say this high speed as a thermal velocity of the order of 10 to the power 4 to 10 to the power 5 meter per second. Means the velocity of the electrons due to thermal velocity inside the conductor is very high, very large velocity. Electrons moves randomly in all possible directions. like this one. Okay, means in all possible directions the free electrons are moving inside the conductor. Okay, now here almost 10 to the power 29 free electrons per meter cube, but the electrons are moving inside the conductor. It means charge is moving inside the conductor, but we does not get any shock. Okay, any electrical shock. It means there is a movement of the charge inside the electron. Free electrons are moving, but no current is there. So what is the reason? That the net average thermal velocity of all the free electrons inside the conductor is always zero. How it is zero? Because there are so many free electrons and these electrons are moving in all possible directions. So there is a possibility that the equal number of electrons will move in the opposite direction. Suppose some electrons are moving in that direction, so some electrons are also will move in this direction. If some moving in this direction, then some will also move in the opposite direction inside the conductor. Okay, it means the electrons move inside the conductor in all possible directions, due to which what happens, the net average thermal velocity, because the electrons are moving with the thermal energy. Now we have not given any potential difference here, not connected any battery, so the average thermal velocity of all the free electrons is zero. Okay, so you can note down this one, average thermal velocity of the free electrons, average thermal velocity of the free electrons is zero. Okay, how we can represent this one? Average thermal velocity. Okay, thermal velocity, suppose this is U average, okay, or U bar. We can represent, suppose one electron moving with U1 velocity, any other with U2 plus U3 plus U4, so on up to Un. And suppose there are total n number of free electrons. If we will divide this by n, then what will happen? The net average thermal velocity will be zero. This term will be zero, because all the electrons are moving in the all possible random directions. So average thermal velocity for the free electrons is zero. Okay, now we will discuss about the mean free path and other things. Okay, you can note down this one. Okay, now suppose we connect a battery to this conductor. Okay, suppose now we are applying some potential difference. Suppose some potential difference V is applied across the ends of the conductor. Okay, then what happens? Okay, current will flow. Then actually what happens? There is established an electric field. Okay, this was about the thermal velocity. Okay, so there will be an electric field is established from positive to negative terminal, that will be equal to V upon L. Suppose V is the potential difference and L is the length of the conductor. Suppose L is the length of conductor, then electric field equal to V upon L. Then what happens? All the free electrons after connecting this battery, they will get a force in the opposite direction of electric field. All the electrons will experience a force F equal to minus EE. Generally force on a charged particle is Q into E. We know force on a charged particle in electric field, and electron will experience a force F equal to minus E. Minus sign means the force on electron is in the opposite direction to electric field. Then what will happen? See here, all the electrons will get a force towards the positive terminal of battery. Then these electrons drifted towards the positive terminal of battery. Drifting means, suppose this electron was moving initially in this direction, then it will get drift, it will shift itself in this direction, so it will drift in this like way, means shifted towards here. Suppose this electron was initially going to here, it will try to shift itself to in this direction, means like in this way, it will drift towards here. All the electrons drift itself in the direction of field. Means how we can represent now these in a proper way. Suppose initially you can consider all the free electrons were moving in all the possible directions. Then in the presence of electric field, all the electrons will drift or will move in the opposite direction of electric field. Okay, electrons will move in the opposite direction of electric field. In this way we can see. Okay, so in this process what happens, the electrons, so many free electrons are there. I told you about 10 to the power 29 free electrons, almost 10 to the power 29 free electrons per meter cube for a copper wire or any. Okay, so then these free electrons during this process, after applying the battery, this process, the free electrons collide with each other. Free electrons collide with each other and also collide with the metal ions, with the positive ions present in the conductor. Okay, with the positive ions means there will be collision between the free electrons and the free electron and positive ions present inside the conductor. Then what happens, please listen. The external electric field, this external electric field provides an acceleration to the electron, A equal to F upon M. So acceleration A equal to F is here, minus E into E, minus E upon M. So electrons get an acceleration here. Then, but what happens, the electron get acceleration only in between two successive collisions, and just the collision take place, the electron loses its all the kinetic energy, and it moves only with a constant velocity. Means electron will be accelerated, surely accelerated, but when between the two successive collisions, time interval between two successive collision, as the collision takes place, electron again loses its kinetic energy and then it moves with a constant velocity. Means we can say the net acceleration on the free electrons is zero, no net acceleration, but it gains acceleration in between the two successive collisions. Okay, so here देखिए मैं यहाँ पे क्या कहना चाह रहा हूँ, आप समझिए, जैसे हमारे पास एक कंडक्टर है, इस कंडक्टर को सपोज हमने क्या कर दिया है, V वोल्ट की बैटरी के साथ कनेक्ट कर दिया है, तो कंडक्टर के अंदर जो फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन होते हैं लगभग 10 to the power 29 फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स पर मीटर क्यूब होते हैं। हमने कहा कि जब तक हमने बैटरी कनेक्ट नहीं कर रखी है तब तक क्या होता है, ये फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन रैंडमली ऑल पॉसिबल डायरेक्शन में मूव करते रहते हैं, और जब हम इसमें और एक थर्मल वेलोसिटी से मूव करते हैं, मैंने पहले लिखा था ऑफ द ऑर्डर ऑफ 10 to the power 4 to 10 to the power 5 मीटर पर सेकेंड, इन द absence ऑफ दिस वन एक्सटर्नल इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड, यानी कि जब तक कोई एक्सटर्नल इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड नहीं रहेगा, इलेक्ट्रॉन रैंडमली चारों डायरेक्शन में घूमेंगे, जो मैंने पहले फिगर में बनाया था 10 to the power 4 से 10 to the power 5 मीटर पर सेकेंड, मींस 10,000 मीटर पर सेकेंड से मूव करते हैं। लेकिन जब हम इसमें बैटरी कनेक्ट करते हैं, तो बैटरी कनेक्ट करने के बाद क्या होता है, इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इस्टेब्लिश हो जाता है E इक्वल टू V अपॉन L, जहां पर L कंडक्टर की लेंथ है, तो सारे के सारे इलेक्ट्रॉन जो इधर उधर घूम रहे थे रैंडम डायरेक्शन में, वो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड के अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में एक, यानी कि पॉजिटिव टर्मिनल ऑफ बैटरी की ओर एक फोर्स एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं, जो कि कितना होता है, माइनस E इंटू E, माइनस साइन मीन्स फोर्स ऑन इलेक्ट्रॉन इज इन अपोजिट डायरेक्शन टू इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड, और इसलिए सारे के सारे इलेक्ट्रॉन ड्रिफ्ट हो जाते हैं किधर की ओर, एक फिक्स डायरेक्शन में मूव करने लगते हैं, फ्रॉम नेगेटिव टर्मिनल ऑफ द बैटरी टुवर्ड्स द पॉजिटिव टर्मिनल ऑफ द बैटरी। अब इस बीच क्या होता है, जब ये इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड के द्वारा या इस फोर्स के द्वारा इलेक्ट्रॉन को एक एक्सेलरेशन मिलता है, ठीक, तो एक्सेलरेशन A इक्वल टू F बाई M बाई न्यूटन सेकेंड इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशन, F इक्वल टू ma, A इक्वल टू F बाई M एंड A इक्वल टू माइनस E अपॉन M, ये एक्सेलरेशन इलेक्ट्रॉन को मिलता है। लेकिन ध्यान दीजिएगा, ये इलेक्ट्रॉन को एक्सेलरेशन जैसे ही मिला और उसके बाद जो इलेक्ट्रॉन होते हैं ये रैंडमली मूव जो कर रहे थे, अब इनमें क्या होता है, आपस में कोलिजन होने लगता है इलेक्ट्रॉन्स में। ओके, तो ये जैसे ही बहुत जल्दी इलेक्ट्रॉन के बीच में कोलिजन होता है, और इन कोलिजन्स के बीच में ही ये इलेक्ट्रॉन एक्सेलरेट हो पाता है। जैसे ही ये कोलिजन, ये इलेक्ट्रॉन जिसको एक एक्सेलरेशन मिला A इक्वल टू माइनस E अपॉन M, ये दूसरे इलेक्ट्रॉन से जैसे ही कोलिजन होगा या उसके अंदर प्रेजेंट पॉजिटिव आयन से जैसे ही कोलॉइड होगा, तो इलेक्ट्रॉन अपने सारे के सारे जो काइनेटिक एनर्जी गेन करके रखता है उसको लॉस कर देता है, एनर्जी लॉस होता है ड्यूरिंग द कोलिजन, और जिसके कारण वो फिर से जो उसने एक्सेलरेशन एक मिला होता है, उसको जो काइनेटिक एनर्जी मिली होती है एक्सेलरेशन से, उसको लॉस कर देता है, तो फिर से कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी से मूव करता है। फिर जैसे ही दो सक्सेसिव कोलिजन होने से पहले वो उसको फिर एक्सेलरेशन मिलता है और उसके बाद फिर वो क्या करता है, अपनी एनर्जी को लॉस करते रहता है। तो फाइनली क्या होता है, इलेक्ट्रॉन पर जो नेट एक्सेलरेशन होता है, नेट एक्सेलरेशन 0 होता है। इलेक्ट्रॉन केवल एक कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी से मूव करता है, कांस्टेंट ड्रिफ्ट वेलोसिटी, इस वेलोसिटी को हम कहते हैं ड्रिफ्ट वेलोसिटी। इलेक्ट्रॉन मूव्स विथ इन ए कांस्टेंट ड्रिफ्ट वेलोसिटी से मूव करता है, ठीक है, हर एक इलेक्ट्रॉन, जिसके लिए अभी हम मैथमेटिकल फॉर्मूला भी निकालेंगे। अब यहां पर देखिए, यहां पर दो चीजें आती हैं, एक टर्म आता है मीन फ्री पाथ और दूसरा टर्म आता है रिलैक्सेशन टाइम। आप उसको समझिए। देखिए क्या होता है, इलेक्ट्रॉन का कोलिजन आपस में या पॉजिटिव आयन से जो कोलिजन होगा तो उसमें एक छोटा सा टाइम इंटरवल लगेगा, ठीक। उस टाइम इंटरवल में इलेक्ट्रॉन क्या रहेगा, रिलैक्स में रहेगा, ठीक। यानी कि एक कोलिजन हुआ, फिर अगला कोलिजन हुआ, फिर अगला कोलिजन हुआ, लेकिन ये जैसी कोलिजन हुआ और अब अगले कोलिजन होने तक इलेक्ट्रॉन जो रिलैक्स में है, यानी कि हम कह सकते हैं दो सक्सेसिव कोलिजन के बीच में जो टाइम लग रहा है, जहां पर कोलिजन नहीं हो रहा है, और वी कैन से द टाइम बिटवीन टू सक्सेसिव कोलिजन्स इज कॉल्ड द रिलैक्सेशन टाइम, ठीक है। तो कोलिजन की जितनी जल्दी होगा उतना ही इलेक्ट्रॉन अपनी एनर्जी को लॉस करेगा, ठीक है, और उतनी ही जो होंगे उसमें देखिएगा अब आगे आप, तो जो हम उस टाइम को हम क्या कहेंगे, रिलैक्सेशन टाइम, ओके। I will write its definition also। तो रिलैक्सेशन टाइम को हम रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे टाउ से, इट विल बी रिप्रेजेंटेड बाय टाउ। और दूसरा क्या होता है, इस कोलिजन के बीच में इलेक्ट्रॉन जितनी पाथ लेंथ, दो सक्सेसिव कोलिजन्स के बीच में इलेक्ट्रॉन जितने भी पाथ लेंथ कवर करेगा उसको हम बोलते हैं मीन फ्री पाथ ऑफ फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, ठीक। और जो ड्रिफ्ट वेलोसिटी जो हमने कहा कि ड्रिफ्ट वेलोसिटी क्या है, व्हेन वी अप्लाई अ पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस across the ends of the conductor, then all the free electrons present in the conductor moves towards the positive terminal of a battery with a small velocity in a fixed direction, and that velocity is called drift velocity. Please note that the drift velocity, I will also write here the definition for you. Drift velocity is denoted by Vd, and it is very less, only of the order of 10 to the power -3 मीटर पर सेकेंड, मीन्स मिलीमीटर पर सेकेंड की ड्रिफ्ट वेलोसिटी होती है। इलेक्ट्रॉन एक सेकेंड में, यानी कि जीरो, आप ये मान लीजिए 1 मिलीमीटर जा रहा है या 0.001 मीटर ही कवर करता है। लेकिन बात ये आती है, अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन 0.001 मीटर अगर एक सेकेंड में कवर कर रहा है तो उसको तो 1 मीटर जाने में लगभग बहुत ज्यादा समय लगेगा, ऑलमोस्ट 27 मिनट बोला जाता है, ठीक है, अगर आप कैलकुलेट करेंगे। तो इसलिए अगर हम कहेंगे, अगर हमारे पास स्विच है और बल्ब बहुत दूर है तो हमारी तो लाइट तुरंत जल जाती है ना, जबकि हम कहें अगर फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन मूव कर रहे हैं उसके कारण लाइट जली, तो भाई फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन तो एक सेकंड में 0.1 मिलीमीटर ही मूव कर रहा है, 0.001 मीटर। तो यहाँ पर रीजन ये होता है, जो इलेक्ट्रिक ऐसा क्यों है, फिर लाइट इतनी जल्दी, बल्ब इतनी जल्दी क्यों जल रहा है जबकि वायर और बल्ब बहुत दूर है। तो इसलिए रीजन ये होता है कि इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड जो स्टेब्लिश होता है यहाँ पर, दैट इज स्टेब्लिश्ड विद द स्पीड ऑफ लाइट, वो लाइट की स्पीड से इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड यहाँ पर स्टेब्लिश होता है, ओके। तो दैट इज द रीजन फॉर दिस वन। तो दिस इज द रिलैक्सेशन टाइम वन इज देयर, और सेकंड है हमारे पास यहाँ पर मीन फ्री पाथ इज द सेकंड कंसेप्ट, एंड थर्ड वन इज द ड्रिफ्ट वेलोसिटी, ओके। नाउ आई विल राइट हियर द डेफिनेशन ऑफ दीज थ्री। Okay, now this is the definition of mean free path and relaxation time. What is mean free path? The average distance moved by a free electron between two successive collisions is called mean free path, and distance denoted by lambda. Means average distance moved by free electrons, we can say average distance moved by a free electron between two successive collisions. Okay. Relaxation time, the average time interval between two successive collisions of free electrons is called relaxation time and is denoted by tau. Okay. Now you can note down these two definitions. Okay. Mean free path and relaxation time. Then I will write here about the drift velocity. Okay. Next one is the drift velocity. Okay. I will write first the definition here, then I will show it to you. Okay, now next and important is drift velocity. We will also derive the formula for it. So what is drift velocity? It is defined as the average velocity with which free electrons get drifted towards the positive end of the conductor under the influence of an external electric field applied. Means it is defined as the average velocity with which the free electrons get drifted towards the positive end of the conductor. Means this is positive end of the conductor under the influence of external electric field. This is important. Okay, now drift velocity of electron is of the order of 10 to the power minus 3 meter per second or few millimeter per second. Sometimes in books, some books 10 to the power minus 3, or we can say 10 to the power minus 4 also. So drift velocity is of the order of, we can say 10 to the power minus 3 to 10 to the power minus 4 meter per second, very small. Now we will derive the formula for it. First you have to write this definition. You can write this definition, you can take a screenshot. Okay, now formula for drift velocity. Okay, formula also we know. Suppose u1, suppose u1 is the initial thermal velocity. Actually before applying the potential difference V, electrons move due to random directions, moves in random directions with average thermal velocity. Means with thermal velocity, suppose u1 is the initial thermal velocity for an electron. Okay, an electron, comma a is the acceleration, but you know the net acceleration is 0 because due to the acceleration electron get the energy accelerated, but it loses its kinetic energy in the collisions. Remember it. Okay, a is the acceleration and tau 1 is the relaxation time. Tau 1 is the relaxation time for an electron. एक इलेक्ट्रॉन के लिए हमारी बात हो रही है. तो u1 is the initial velocity you can say, and a is okay the acceleration. Continue, a is the acceleration and tau 1 is the relaxation time for an electron. So drift velocity, we have to find drift velocity for an electron. Okay, एक इलेक्ट्रॉन के लिए कैसे होगा? बाय न्यूटन्स इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशन. ड्रिफ्ट वेलोसिटी, न्यूटन इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशन इज v equal to u plus a t. This is Newton equation of motion. Here for drift velocity of one electron, v1 equal to u1 plus a. In place of t we can write tau 1. Okay, and for any another electron, v2 equal to u2 plus acceleration will be same, a tau 2 and so on. Okay, a tau 2. Then net average velocity means net drift velocity. How we can write net drift velocity? Net or average drift velocity. Drift velocity Vd equal to net average drift velocity Vd. Vd means drift velocity. So first we have to average these all. So drift v1 plus v2 plus v3 so on up to vn. Okay, upon suppose total number of electrons are n, so divided by n. Okay, so Vd equal to v1 plus v2 plus v3 so on up to vn divided by the total. Okay, now this is the average velocity will be Vd equal to this one. Now we can put the values of these all. So how? So please see here, try to understand. And this one Vd equal to, in place of v1 we can write u1 plus a tau 1. Okay, and in place of v2 will be u2 plus a tau 2 and so on up to u3 u3 plus a tau 3. This will become u3 plus a tau 3 so up to vn. In place of vn we can write here un plus a tau n. Okay, and divided by n, and whole this is divided by n. We can write drift velocity in this form. Okay, so you can take the screenshot for this one, then I will solve further. Okay, now after this line, please see, after this line, this is our last line. drift velocity Vd. Now I am proceeding further. So Vd equal to, I can write u1 plus u2 plus u3 as a summation, and a tau1, a tau2. Okay, so Vd equal to, I can write, I am saying that I can write u1 plus u2 plus u3 so on up to un separately, and a tau1 plus a tau2, a tau3 so on up to a tau n separately. Means how I can write this one? You can write u1 plus u2 plus u3 so on up to un, and I can divide by n these terms in this way. Plus we can write a tau1 plus a tau1 plus a tau2 plus a tau3, and if you can understand, then a tau1, a tau2, a tau3 will add each other, and we can take a acceleration common from this term. Then what will happen? A tau1 plus tau2 plus tau3 so on up to tau n divided by n also. So here when we started the derivation, v1 equal to u1 plus a tau1. u1 is the thermal velocity of one electron, and this u1 plus u2 plus u3 plus un upon n, this is average thermal velocity. In place of average thermal velocity, or we know, I told you the average thermal velocity is always 0. So in place of this one, there will be average thermal velocity, and this term is 0. Okay, because we know the average thermal velocity is 0. Okay, so Vd equal to this term is 0, and we will get plus a tau1 plus tau2 plus tau3 plus tau n upon n. What is this? Tau1 is the relaxation time for one electron, and this is the average relaxation time because we divided by n by adding these. So it means this is the average relaxation time for all the three electrons, and we can write the average relaxation time as a into tau. Okay, so then what we got finally here, Vd equal to drift velocity, Vd equal to a tau. Okay, so a is here acceleration, and what is the acceleration on electron? You can write, we know F force on electron is minus e. Suppose this is equation 1. Force on electron is minus e. Acceleration will be force upon mass, means minus e upon m. So in place of F equal to minus e, acceleration equal to force upon m means minus e upon m. So in place of acceleration we can add minus e upon m. So from equation 1, drift velocity Vd, average drift velocity equal to a into tau, this equation, and in place of a we can add minus e upon m. So average drift velocity Vd equal to minus e tau upon m. So this is the formula for average drift velocity of free electrons. Okay, so from this discussion you can see that drift velocity is directly proportional to the applied electric field and is directly proportional to the relaxation time. Means is applied electric field is, you can see from here, drift velocity is directly proportional to electric field, and drift velocity is directly proportional to relaxation time. Means if electric field is strong, then drift velocity will be more. Okay, and means drift velocity will increase. Okay, and if relaxation time will increase, then drift velocity also increase. How relaxation time will increase? Means electron will take more time between two successive collision, means there will be collision time is more, then relaxation time will be more, and electron will move with a more faster speed drift velocity. Okay, so this is about drift velocity, and in place of E you can write V upon L, then we can get one more formula, Vd equal to minus E V tau upon m into L. In place of E we can write V also. Okay, so this is the formula for average drift velocity. You can note down this formula. Okay, so in today's lecture we discussed about the electric current and mechanism of flow of electric current, mean free path, relaxation time, and drift velocity, and formula for drift velocity inside the conductor when an applied electric potential difference is applied. In the next lecture we will discuss about the relation between electric current and drift velocity. So please make all these notes in your copies and be regular in your studies. And that's all for today's lecture. Thank you so much.